Lissa Hoffman never imagined her life would change forever on a sunny March afternoon in Dusseldorf. At 24, the young German woman worked as a receptionist at a five-star hotel, dreaming of saving enough for college to study tourism. With blonde hair, blue eyes, and a warm smile, Lissa often caught the attention of international guests, but she remained professional and reserved. That day, an elegant man in his mid-30s approached the desk, tall and dressed in a tailored Italian suit. He spoke German with a slight, unplaceable accent. He introduced himself as Ahmed Al-Rashid, a businessman from Dubai. "I'd like some local restaurant recommendations," Ahmed said with a charming smile. "I'm new to the city and prefer to trust someone with obvious good taste." Lissa was flattered. He was different, polite, sophisticated, and his dark eyes made her feel seen. She recommended 3 restaurants in detail. Ahmed listened intently, asking thoughtful questions, showing interest not just in the food, but in her. "You have a fascinating perspective," he remarked. "I bet you know Dusseldorf better than any professional guide." Over the next 3 days, Ahmed always stopped by the desk to chat. He learned she lived alone in a small apartment, that her parents had died in a car accident 2 years prior, and that she worked tirelessly to support herself. He seemed genuinely invested in her dreams. "You know, Lissa," he said on the 3rd day, "I run several companies in the Middle East tourism hospitality. Someone with your intelligence and charm could have a brilliant future with us." On the 4th day, Ahmed appeared with a bouquet of white roses. "These are special," he explained. "In my country, they symbolize new beginnings and pure intentions." Lissa was deeply touched. No one had ever been so attentive. When he invited her to dinner, she accepted without hesitation. Dinner was at the city's most expensive restaurant, a private table overlooking the Rhine. Ahmed spoke of his life, inheriting the family business, his properties in Dubai and London, and the loneliness that accompanied his wealth. "Lissa, you're different," he said softly, holding her hand. "Most women only see my money, but you have a pure soul." During dessert, he made a life-altering proposal. "My company is expanding into Europe. I need someone trustworthy to manage new luxury tourism projects, someone who understands the European mindset. The salary would be $8,000 a month to start, plus a house, car, and international health insurance. It's a chance to travel the world." Lissa nearly choked. It was 4 times her current salary. "But there is one condition," Ahmed continued. "You would need to come to Dubai for 6 months for training. After that, you could split your time between there and Europe." It was a distant, daunting adventure, but Ahmed was so convincing. "Think about it," he said. "How many get an opportunity like this?" That night, Lissa couldn't sleep. Her friends thought it was too risky, but she saw only possibility. The next day, Ahmed presented official, translated contracts. His company, Al-Rashid International Holdings, had offices in Dubai, London, and Paris. Everything appeared legitimate. "Lissa," he said warmly, "I believe you have the potential to be extraordinary. This is your chance." She looked at the contracts, at the man, at her dead-end job. The decision was clear. "I accept," she said, signing with trembling hands. Ahmed smiled, kissing her hand respectfully. "You won't regret it. Your new life begins in 2 weeks." What Lissa didn't know was that she had just signed her own sentence. The next 2 weeks were a whirlwind. Ahmed handled everything. He paid 3 months' salary in advance, arranged for her apartment, and bought her a new wardrobe. "Presentation is key in international business," he explained. He secured her work visa and even enrolled her in an online course on Arab business culture. His attention to detail was impressive. The night before her flight, he took her for a farewell dinner. "This will change your life in ways you can't imagine, Lissa. Dubai is a city of endless opportunity." He gave her a small velvet box. Inside was a delicate gold bracelet with a key-shaped pendant. "This key symbolizes the doors opening for you," he said. "Wear it always, as a reminder that I believed in you from the start." Lissa was profoundly moved. The first-class flight was a luxury she'd never known. Ahmed sat beside her, explaining the business and the people she'd meet. My partner, Khaled, will be your supervisor. He is traditional, so respect the local culture. Dress conservatively. And for safety, avoid contact with other foreigners initially. Dubai has many scammers. Dubai was a spectacle of modernity. A uniformed driver met them in a black Mercedes. The company apartment was a spacious, sea-view residence in Jumeirah. Rest today, Ahmed said. Khaled will collect you at 9 a.m. The next morning, a severe, well-dressed man arrived promptly. Khaled al-Mansouri, Ahmed's partner, was formal and direct. Miss Hoffman, he said in accented German, today you learn your responsibilities. En route, he laid out the rules. Working hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6 days a week, a conservative dress code, and strict security protocols. For safety, your outside communication must be limited, Khaled stated. We must protect our business information. The office was an entire floor in a financial district skyscraper. Lissa was introduced as a special consultant. Her desk was in a separate, windowless room. For maximum concentration, Khaled explained, her tasks involved translating documents and researching European markets. The work was interesting, but she was isolated. It's temporary, Ahmed assured her. Khaled wants you to understand our methods. Soon, strange things emerged. Her passport vanished. It's with immigration for your residence visa, Khaled said. Her calls to Germany failed. Local infrastructure issues, Ahmed explained. She received no cash. Everything is paid directly by the company. It's safer. Her freedom was being subtly stripped. The doorman noted her comings and goings. The driver always accompanied her. Her European clothes were replaced with more conservative attire. The bracelet Ahmed had given her felt heavier. When she tried to remove it, she found it was locked. A security mechanism, Ahmed said smoothly. It prevents theft. When Lissa insisted on exploring alone, she was told it wasn't safe. Her golden life was becoming a gilded cage, though she still believed it was a temporary cultural adjustment. She didn't know that Ahmed and Khaled were experts at creating dependence, and the worst was yet to come. 2 months in, her routine was rigidly controlled. Khaled's demeanor grew colder. Miss Hoffman, we have concerns about your appearance. Some clients find it too Western. Lissa looked at her long-sleeved blouse and trousers, bewildered. Perception is reality here, he said, handing her turtlenecks, long skirts, and a headscarf. You wouldn't want to harm the company that has invested in you, would you? Her workstation was moved to a smaller, windowless room. Fewer distractions. That evening, her video call to her friend Petra in Germany dropped repeatedly. A message flashed, service temporarily unavailable. The next morning, she confronted Ahmed. I feel like I'm losing touch with my old life, she confessed. Lissa, he said with feigned concern, this is the hardest part of cultural transition. He then offered a promotion, regional supervisor for European expansion, with a salary of $15,000 a month. But it requires a 5-year contract. It was an immense sum, but the term was long. Can I think about it? The warmth left Ahmed's eyes. Opportunities like this are rare. Our investors are impatient. That night, panic set in. She discovered her German phone plan had been canceled weeks ago via a forged power of attorney. Her bank password no longer worked. Changes had been made with the same legal proxy. She remembered signing Arabic documents in her first week. Had she signed her life away? She confronted Khaled. I want to see every document I signed. He smiled coldly. They are with our lawyers. Why this ingratitude? I want my passport. I want to go to the German embassy. Khaled's smile vanished. Perhaps you are not suited for leadership after all. That afternoon, a security guard stopped her from leaving the building alone. Company policy, ma'am. For your safety. She was a prisoner. Back at the apartment, Ahmed was waiting, his charm gone. Lissa, it seems you're struggling to adjust. What is really going on, Ahmed? He smiled a new, cruel smile. You are finally understanding. You are not a guest. You are our employee, and employees follow rules. The transformation was terrifying. The charming man from Dusseldorf had vanished. "Sit," he commanded. He brought her tea. "Drink." When she hesitated, his voice turned to ice. "I said drink." The tea was bitter. "Let's clarify. You are my property. Did you think a receptionist with no degree would really be hired to manage millions?" He detailed the documents she'd signed. Power of attorney, a 10-year personal services contract, the transfer of her German assets. All perfectly legal here. Lissa felt dizzy. The tea was drugged. "Your new role is to be my personal companion, a luxury hostess for important guests." "Prostitution," she whispered. "A vulgar word," Ahmed grimaced. "You will be well treated if you are pleasant." "I'll go to the police." "The embassy." "With what documents?" he asked calmly. "You have nothing. If you cause trouble, you'll be deported as an illegal worker. And you owe us a fortune for your expenses." The room spun. "Sleep now," Ahmed said softly. "Tomorrow your real training begins." She awoke in a different, barred room. A woman named Fatima was there. "I am responsible for your education." "I won't do it," Lissa said. Fatima sighed. "I've seen many girls like you. Resistance only brings pain. I've worked for the Al-Rashids for 15 years. You are one of 6 women here now. All came voluntarily." "How many?" "One tried to escape 2 years ago. She almost made it to the French embassy." "What happened?" "She is no longer with us." Pure terror coursed through Lissa. "Fatima, please help me. I have my own family, child. I cannot." 2 hours later, 2 large men escorted her to an office where Ahmed, Khaled, and an elegant Frenchwoman, Madame Dubois, waited. "She will handle your professional development," Ahmed said. Madame Dubois looked her over. "Good bone structure. The Japanese clients will like the Nordic type." Madame Dubois's training was a descent into psychological hell. Days began at 5:30 a.m. with supervised exercise. Etiquette lessons taught her to serve, smile, and never contradict. A hostess makes men happy. Refusal brought punishment. Food deprivation, solitary confinement, then visits from Khaled that left hidden bruises. "You only prolong your suffering," Madame Dubois would say. The strategy was diabolical. Severe punishment followed by kindness, special food, small luxuries, creating a twisted gratitude. The systematic isolation made her doubt her own past. Was this her only reality? The turning point came in the 3rd month when she met Svetlana, the Russian woman from the threatening photo. She was now perfectly composed, but her eyes were dead. "I resisted too," Svetlana said. "You just stop being yourself. It's easier. There must be a way out." "Escape to where?" Svetlana whispered. "They have connections everywhere. An Italian girl, Francesca. They brought her back. They kept her alive for weeks as an example." That night, Lissa faced the brutal truth. Resistance meant unimaginable agony. Submission meant losing her soul. When Madame Dubois asked if she was ready to cooperate, Lissa nodded silently. "Good. Tomorrow you meet your first client." That final night, she wept for the girl she had been. But at sunrise, she dried her tears and began to become what they wanted. The transformation was complete. Lissa Hoffman was dead, replaced by an obedient shadow, or so they thought. Deep within, a cold, calculating anger had taken root. She would play their game perfectly. She would be the ideal hostess, and she would wait, meticulously planning her revenge. Powerful, secure men make mistakes, and she would be ready. 18 months later, Lissa was the model hostess. Sophisticated, multilingual, and perfectly compliant. She attended high-stakes dinners, charming powerful clients, her resistance buried deep. Beneath the surface, she was executing a long-term escape plan. First, she gained their trust. For 6 months, she was flawless. Ahmed, pleased, gave her more access, taking her to exclusive events where she met the network's key players. She became a living archive, memorizing names, connections, and financial details. Second, she sought contact with the outside world. At a British Embassy event, she caught the eye of Sarah Mitchell, an investigative journalist. In a fleeting, silent moment, Lissa's eyes conveyed her despair. Sarah understood. She began digging into Ahmed al-Rashid, uncovering a vast trafficking ring. Third, Lissa gathered evidence. Using a small device Sarah had accidentally left behind, she began photographing contracts, client lists, and financial records, risking everything with each shot. The climax came when Ahmed tasked her with entertaining a corrupt German politician, Dr. Klaus Weber, who was being blackmailed. He was nervous, drinking heavily. Seizing her chance, Lissa spoke to him in German. "I know you don't want to be here. My name is Lissa Hoffman. I was trafficked." In a desperate, whispered exchange, Weber confirmed that European authorities were building a case but needed direct evidence. "I have it," Lissa said. Over 2 risky weeks, she funneled all her evidence through Weber to the authorities. The international raid happened on a September morning. Police, Interpol, and embassy officials stormed Ahmed's properties across 6 countries. Ahmed was arrested to a list of charges read by a lead agent. As he was led away, he saw Lissa standing free with German agents, dressed simply, her gaze steady. "You," he spat. Lissa looked directly at him. "My name is Lissa Hoffman, not your property. A free woman you should never have underestimated." Epilogue. 3 years later, Lissa stood in a Frankfurt courtroom, concluding her testimony. Her efforts had helped secure over 400 years in collective prison sentences. Ahmed received life. Khalid, 35 years. Madame Dubois, 28. Using compensation from Ahmed's seized assets, Lissa founded a foundation to help trafficking victims and educate youths about predators. The Lissa Hoffman Foundation now operated in 12 countries. After court, she stepped into the sunlight, her life finally her own. She looked at the gold bracelet on her wrist. No longer a chain, but a trophy. She had long since picked the lock but kept it as a reminder of her strength. Her phone rang. It was Sarah Mitchell. "How did it go?" "It's over," Lissa said. "Finally over." She smiled a genuine, hard-won smile. "Now I'm going to live." She walked into her future, having learned that the sweetest revenge was not violence, but survival, and ensuring the guilty could never harm again. Lissa Hoffman had proven them fatally wrong.